finally they replaced them, and one of the brand new ones glued on me the other day, and I sent that out, and it takes about 2 weeks to get it back, and I said, oh, man. I've been mono most of the summer.
I had a good friend of ours we boated with. He was about your age. He had one on either side, and his wife would start yelling at him. You could just see him. He'd be like,
Turn them down. Man, I was out with me and my grandson. We were out, and I get a little boat.
turn this on.
Yeah, get a little red light on there.
Yeah, that does.
Mr. Stewart, are you ready to call this meeting to order with us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Please note that Miss Amanda Peters and Mr. Rui Newsom are not present here tonight. The rest of us are, including Mr. Cody Murphy. So, everyone has before them last month's minutes. Like to have a motion on those, please?
I'll go ahead and make the motion, we accept those minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah. Very good. Motion carried. Mr. Stewart, would you like to present your first case of the evening, please?
Yes, sir. Our first case is from Ms. Mary Clegg with Alley's Walkabout. She's applying for a conditional use permit at 2844 Crescent Springs Road. She's looking to open up a pet hotel with a 50 feet by 100 feet addition on the left side of the front building. And the plans show a future 50 feet by 50 feet addition on the rear of that first addition. The site is located on Crescent Springs Road, 2 properties southwest of where Crescent Springs Road crosses under I-71, I-75, and currently has a single-family residence and a detached barn. The property to the northeast is vacant. The property to the southwest has a single-family residence, and the property to the southeast across Crescent Springs Road has multiple cold storage warehouses. And I-71, I-75 borders the northwest property line. The subject property and the adjoining properties to the northeast, southwest, and southeast are within the Industrial Park 1 zone. The I-71, I-75 right-of-way is within the Industrial Park 3 zone. The Industrial Park 1 zone permits a variety of light industrial and office uses. The zone also conditionally permits a variety of uses, including pet hotels. As per Direction 2030, the area-wide comprehensive plan update, which was adopted by the Kenton County Planning Commission on September 4th, 2014, the recommended land use plan identifies the reference site and the properties to the northeast, southwest, and southeast as industrial, and the right-of-way is identified as right-of-way. The applicant is proposing to open a pet hotel in the existing front building, which is the house, currently the house, and construct a 50 feet by 100 feet addition on the left side of that front building. The applicant is also proposing to construct a 50 feet by 50 feet addition on the rear of that first addition sometime in the future. No information was given on the application or plan stating the time range for that second addition. Submitted plan also shows a second driveway on the left side of the property being installed. The property is approximately 339.5 feet wide at Crescent Springs Road right-of-way, and the spacing between the existing and proposed driveways is approximately 90 feet. Section 11.3 F2A states that on a 2-lane roadway, 1 access point per existing track will be allowed. However, if the frontage is greater than 500 feet, an additional access point may be permitted. Furthermore, the minimum spacing between adjacent access points on this type of facility shall be 100 feet, measuring from point of curb return to point of curb return. Crescent Springs Road is a state-maintained road, and the Kentucky Department of Transportation will need to approve the new driveway entrance. Section 10.22C states that pet hotels and property improvements for the pet hotel, additions, signs, etc., shall be subject to the approval of the Erlanger Board of Adjustments. The submitted plan shows the 2 additions exceeding the minimum setbacks from all property lines, and the plan also shows 39 parking spaces that will be constructed for the business. KRS 100.237 3 states that if the main building or other improvement does not have a signed written contracts or is not substantially under construction within 1 year or other time limit set by the board, from the board's decision, the conditional permit is to be brought back to the board at a public hearing to discuss either extending the time limit, adding conditions, or revoking the permit.
Okay. So the person's making the request, please come to the podium and state your reason for the request.
Hi, I'm Mary Clegg. This is my husband, David. And the reason for the request is we are currently located in Erlanger. We've been operating for 4 years in our current location. And we are leasing the space, and we are wanting to purchase this space to build a proper facility for all the pups that we take care of.
Do we need to swear them in? They need to be sworn.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This isn't my normal thing. We need
Boss
to
isn't
swear.
here this
Yeah,
week.
we would need to swear you in.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot.
All right.
So, yeah, we might as well, everyone that's going to speak, would you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, but nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Okay.
You want to say that again?
I think we still have it. So you're moving this facility from its current location, you're buying this property to develop into the new business, okay. So we'll probably have some questions from the audience. I see several people that have signed up to get some information on this. So if you will, just hang around to
Sure.
answer the questions. So there's some people that have chosen to speak for or against this. So I'm going to go ahead and call you up to get your viewpoints to see what your concerns are. So we'll start off with David and Mary Clegg. Let's see, we're
That's us.
Clendon, Ryan Clendon. Clendon?
Hi,
Hi.
how are you doing? I'm Ryan Clendenin with Huff Realty. I represent a seller of an adjoining property, Mrs. Hovkamp. She's the residential property that adjoins this property to the south. And the main question was on outdoor space, if there would be outdoor usage for the animals that would be staying at the pet hotel, and what kind of noise or anything of that nature that could be a cause from that. So that was a question that she had, and from our marketability on the property that it will be going for sale this week. So that was really the major question.
Okay, thank you.
We do currently have outdoor play yards in our existing facility. We do have a no barking rule. So if the dogs are getting a little too wound up, we do bring them inside for a little bit of quiet time before they go back out into playgroup. The design of the space of the building right now is where the new construction would go to the left side of the house, the existing residence. The play yards would be behind the house, so they would be contained inside that L.
Yeah, inside that L, yeah.
Okay, and this is all enclosed,
Does that
fenced?
answer the concern?
Yeah, I'd like to know, like, what kind of animals are you gonna have?
Dogs.
Just dogs.
Dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Carol Rovecamp, you said? Okay.
Well, it's my concern that, I don't want them to ruin my property value. And that's, because I've got my property up for sale too. And, that's, that's just what, that's what I'm worried about. Somebody gets these dogs or, all these dogs make all this noise and everything. I mean, I don't know, I'm a pet lover myself, so, I've got 2 dogs myself, so. I know how loud they can be, so. I mean, I don't know, how many dogs would you have there at any one time? The more you can get, I'm sure.
No, actually, the focus we have is about the care of the individual animal, and so we don't necessarily all the more the better. It's, as an example, we do an evaluation with every dog before they can stay with us, and if they're not, when I say they're not a good fit, our environment, we're an off-leash care facility, so we manage the dogs in about a 15-to-1, 20-to-1, depending on the size of the dog. And so our goal is to give them an experience, I call it Disneyland for dogs, where they just enjoy themselves, they have a great time, and because they're always engaged with one of our handlers, they're occupied. Traditional kennels where you have a dog sitting in a run and it's stressful, it doesn't have a chance to express its energy, and therefore that's where you typically get the noise. I will say that one of the greatest joys we have as a business is when dogs are picked up, oftentimes they'll actually go back to the gate, wanting to go back to the play yard, wanting to go back and play more. And that energy being expended is what creates actually a very quiet environment. And I'd be happy to host you at our place so you can kind of get a sense of what it's like.
I know where you're located now, and I didn't know, I thought you bought that, I didn't know you leased that.
Mhm.
But, I know, you walk the dogs out there in the front a lot.
Yeah, many times, especially senior animals,
Yeah, I see those. Huh?
training.
Oh, it isn't.
Yeah, we have dog training as well.
But I see a lot of dog walking down there, so it's, I guess they're every day. But, are you going to be living there?
We are not, but we do have staff there overnight for the safety of our guests. So we always have an overnight staff member.
Okay. Okay. I don't know, I hope we can be good neighbors.
Well, I'll give you
I hope I'm not there too long.
I can speak to that a little bit. When we first moved in, there were some folks on Eubanks that, because we're just getting used to, we went from our house, a 1,500 square foot house with a basement, to a 12,000 square foot facility, so we're learning how to manage it. And so we had some of the neighbors on Eubanks call, and they were fussing a little bit about barking as we're getting our feet under us in this big space. And I told the folks on Eubanks, I think it was via Facebook, I believe, and I said, all we want to be is good neighbors. That's all we want to be. That's all we want to be. So if there's ever a struggle, you reach out to us. Mary and I will give you our cell numbers. You reach out to us. But you'll find, I think, A, we're responsive, but B, the barking as a general rule of thumb in our care business is not a good, the incessant barking. If a dog barks at another dog while they're playing, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the cacophony of ho, 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 and the dogs are just going nuts. That's the stuff we don't allow. We figure it out and solve it. And spend a lot of time on training and a lot of money on training.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, our typical staff member, when they start, goes through almost 6 weeks just learning dog body language so they can communicate with the dog. Dr. Doolittle could talk to the animals, and we really can. I mean, we really can see what's going on with the body language of the animal to know, here's what we need to do next. And that's something we take a great deal of pride in, and frankly, it's not very common in our industry, in our area. It is fairly common in other parts of the country, but it's not terribly common in our area.
So I have a question. Excuse me. I don't think that she's going to have an issue selling her property. I mean, the way that's developed out there right now, so being a good neighbor is I don't think that's going to be an issue moving forward. But what is the schedule for the dogs? So they're not out all day, I'm assuming. And what time are they out in the morning? Just really for kind of to ease her concerns a little bit. What time are they out in the morning? What time do they go in at night? And if they are out during the day, are they out consistently or do they come in and out? How does that work?
Well, the schedule allowed in this zoning is 7 a.m.
Okay.
So they go outside right around 7 a.m. They go in for breakfast at 8:15, I believe.
So they go out in the morning just
Ish.
to eliminate.
Yeah.
And then they're in for breakfast for about an hour so that everything digests well. Then they come back out. We have a nap time from 12 to 2. And then they're back out to play until dinner time, and the daycare dogs start leaving about that time too. And they go in for dinner at 4:30, and they're back out around 6 o'clock, and then bedtime is 8.
That's not terribly late for a residential area. 8 o'clock wouldn't be,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Craig Tuas? I'm good. You good? All right. Dan and Darla Tuas?
I'm Dan Tuas, we have a turkey farm next door, all I want to do is say hi.
Hey.
Thank you. And Mr. Hermes?
Yes, I have known the Cleggs for a number of years and helped them as they were getting set up into the facility where they are now. As you know, it's the same zone, and they got a conditional use for where they are now. It's also industrial property. And I've seen the operation. It is incredible, and I know that we really don't get complaints here in Erlanger as far as complaints about barking and the noise. If you go and visit them, it is unusual when you hear a dog bark. The dogs stay pretty quiet, and they seem like they have a lot of fun playing there. We take our own dog there as well, and I know she loves it. But about the property, I wanted to say a few things. Regarding the in and out, or the two drives, it wouldn't really be treated quite like two drives. It would be an in and an out to help with the ease of drop-off and pickup. And the sight line of the property is excellent there. It's a straight shot along the road there, and you can see pretty far either direction. So I wouldn't anticipate that the in and out would cause a problem. And I noticed that Mr. Stewart mentioned that those driveways should be 100 feet apart, and that shouldn't be a problem to achieve that on the property. Other than that, it's been a pleasure working with the Cleggs, and certainly hope that they can see this vision through to owning their own parcel in Erlanger. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I believe that closes our discussion. So, gentlemen, got any discussion amongst you? I have a question for Mr. Stewart.
Yes, sir.
Part of this project, I noticed, has an addition to be put on in the future. And I know we're restricted to a 1 year.
Well, if the board does not put a time limit on it, the default is 1 year. So the board has the option to, it can make it 6 months, it can make it 6 years, it's whatever the board so chooses. But if a time limit is not given, then a one year limit is by statute.
Yeah. Would there be a time that you would come up with that would think you'd work for that, for a timeline, so we don't leave this open-ended?
We would expect to be able to put that additional construction on within 36 months. within about 3 years of, not the original building, but then the 50 by 100 building right away, and then within 36 months of completion, the other 50 by 50.
So the first addition is, there's 2 additions, is that correct? To
Yes,
be-
we would start new construction probably within 30 days of closing on the property, 30 to 60 days of closing on the property. So
Okay.
it'd definitely be within the 1 year.
So within 1 year for that, and then you're saying within how much long in
About
the...
36 months after we complete the Phase 1 building,
Okay.
we would probably be looking at the Phase 2 building.
So we're talking probably something about 1 year on the original and 3 years to begin
Correct.
the other, and a year for completion,
Correct.
or something like that. So if someone would want to,
Add 4,
yeah,
add 4.
add 4. Okay. Very good. I think that closes everything. Good. Any more comments? Nothing?
Make a motion, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
To grant the application of Miss Mary Clegg to open a pet hotel and develop the property as shown on the submitted plan dated July 30th, 2019, within 4 years of the date of the board's decision. The granting of this conditional use permit shall not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations. The motion shall be pursuant to the factual determinations from the evidence provided, including without limitation, the staff report, which is hereby determined to be accurate.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Call for a roll call vote.
Mr. Molly,
Yes.
Mr. Armbruster,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes? Motion carries. Thank you.
I wish it always worked out like that. I wish it always worked out like that.
Oh, yeah.
Where the neighbors shook hands afterwards
like-
and just went along like
Wow.
that. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen very often.
I tell you, my pet uses the one at the end of Erlanger Road where they have daycare.
Yeah,
It's the greatest thing ever happened.
really.
She
I'll have
doesn't
to
want
look,
to
I'll
come
have to
home.
look into it.
And when she does come home, she's tired.
All right. Mr. Stewart, would you like to call the second case, please?
Yes, sir. Our second case is from the Dries Homes, who are the property owners of 1474 Grand Ledge Court. They are seeking a dimensional variance from the requirements of the residential off-street parking regulations. They are proposing to construct a larger parking area, the driveway, than what's permitted within the front yard. The site is located on Grand Ledge Court in the Shearborn subdivision and currently has a detached single-family residence that has been permitted to be constructed. The property to the southeast currently has a detached single-family residence, with the rest of the adjoining properties being currently vacant. All of the properties are within the R1C zone, which allows single-family residential dwellings detached and qualified manufactured homes. The Direction 2030, which is the area-wide comprehensive plan update adopted by the Kentucky County Planning Commission on September 4, 2014, recommends all the properties for residential uses with a density of 4.1 to 7.0 dwelling units per net acre. They are proposing to construct a driveway which is approximately 1,189 square feet in area. The house has been approved to be built on this property, has a 3-car garage, which has resulted in the request for the larger driveway area. Section 11.C1A states that no off-street parking area located in the front yard of a single-family residential zone may exceed 400 square feet, which is 2 parking spaces, except, however, the zoning administrator may allow additional off-street parking spaces to be located thereon, provided that the additional parking spaces will not cause the ratio of unpaved area to paved area, parking and driveway areas in the front yard to be less than 3 to 1, which is 25% of the total front yard area. The front yard area is approximately 3,392 square feet, which allows a maximum parking area of 848 square feet. The proposed paved area will be approximately 35% of the total front yard area, so they're requesting an area variance of 10% or 341 square feet.
Okay, the persons making the request, please come to the podium, please. And state your reason for the request.
Hi, my name's Tony Paget. I'm the operations manager for Dries Homes. The reason for the request is just basically we've got this homeowner or this home lot where we want a 3-car garage front entry. There are others in the neighborhood, approximately 12 of those that are already in that neighborhood, so we're not really changing the character of that area or that neighborhood, that street. Actually, the next door neighbor, that lot up one on the street, has a 3-car front entry also. The reason for this one actually not meeting the requirements is because of the unusual shape of the lot. The lot goes right into the bulb of the cul-de-sac, so half or a portion of the front yard is actually shortened from normal. So there's not a full front yard in this lot as there are on other lots in there. So we're 10% over that allowable square footage.
So that cul-de-sac cuts off the...
Yeah, it kinda cuts
Had
into
it
it
been
there.
straight, it would have...
I've got,
It's probably the 341 feet that they're looking for.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
We have that, Tony.
Yeah, we
do
got,
have
yeah,
that.
we
Thank
do
you.
have but thanks. Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
so yeah, that's into that, eats into that front yard just a bit, so it minimizes the grass or the sod or the permeable area of the front lot. So, and then makes that ratio of 3 to 1 a little higher than what we were hoping for. So, we did try to, or we suggested to flip the garage hand on the lot, trying to make it the driveway on the shorter side, therefore kind of flipping the ratio. But there's so much cross grade on that street, it falls about 4 feet from left to right, or from right to left, excuse me. And therefore it just wasn't suitable. The driveway would be way too steep if we did flip that garage hand on that. So,
Okay.
sure we got it.
All right, thank you. Anyone to speak against it? No? Okay. Any discussion?
Just here for moral support.
Yeah, okay. Any discussion about it? Looking for a motion?
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
All right.
Make the motion to grant the application to Mr. Tony Paget, representing Dries Homes, to construct a proposed driveway of approximately 1,189 square feet in area. The granting of this variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, and will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, and will not allow unreasonable circumvention of requirements of the zoning regulation. This motion shall be pursuant to the factual determination from the evidence provided, including, without limitation, the staff report, which is hereby determined to be accurate.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and second. Roll call vote, please, Mr. Stewart.
Mr. Armbruster,
Yes.
Mr. Molly,
Yes,
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Any more business, Mr. Stewart?
No, sir, that's it for the evening.
Very good, very good.
we decided to make it easier.
All right, make a motion. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
That was easy.